I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. A mandatory mask order will not be coming to Flagler County anytime soon, John Arking reports.
A conference call was held Friday with officials from Flagler County, Palm Coast, and Flagler Beach to discuss a possible mandatory mask order. However, the conclusion of those participating was that such an order would be unenforceable and thus will not be pursued. The man who would primarily be tasked with enforcing such an order would be Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley, who took part in the call. He told WNZF's Free for All Friday that, from his perspective, it would not be practical nor proper and potentially would infringe on constitutional rights.
I will tell you this. I do not think it is the role of law enforcement to be the mask police. I don't mind our deputies helping to educate the community, but there are times, for example, first responders are not going to be able to wear a mask. And so we'll help educate, but I don't see us making arrests, and I don't see us being the face mask police.
Several constitutional experts have said that such an order coming from the governor would pass legal muster. However, there is no indication Governor DeSantis would issue one despite record-breaking upticks in cases last week, including more than 10,000 new coronavirus cases reported in Florida Sunday. Flagler County Commission Chairman Dave Sullivan was the one who encouraged the conference call and reportedly was in favor of a mandate, although without a penalty. While Flagler County and its municipalities will not be mandating masks, several Volusia County cities have, including Daytona Beach, DeLand, and New Smyrna Beach. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arkin.
Flagler County continues to set new COVID-19 infection records with 90 in just the last week. Gretchen Smith with the Florida Department of Health in Flagler says the rise in cases is leading to an increase in public health staffers as well.
We have some reserves coming in. We've got 10 nurses that start with us on Monday. They're being sent to us from a staffing agency, basically paid for by the Department of Health in Tallahassee, who are going to help us with things like testing and contact tracing. We got 2 more contact tracers this past week. We're going to get a few more on Monday because we are up to about 233 people that we're monitoring. That's like the highest number we've had so far.
Case-wise, Flagler County has 340 total, but that number is cumulative, meaning some persons have recovered.
What is essential as we continue to deal with COVID-19?
Paul Renner, who represents the 24th State House District, questions whether people going to nightclubs is an essential right now.
In exercising your freedoms, you're going to lose your mind and go in with a group of people and pretend like coronavirus never happened. Then what you're going to do is you're going to create a spike in these cases, and you're going to get people sick who can't afford to be sick.
Renner said that people have to do what medical and law officials have said is appropriate to slow the spread of COVID-19. To listen to the interview with State Rep Paul Renner and others, download the Flagler Radio app and then go to the Free for All Friday podcast. Tomorrow, with coronavirus cases on the rise, is it appropriate to take a step back? From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
A Flagler County Sheriff's deputy is suspended without pay after his arrest on charges of aggravated stalking. Deputy Didorius Varnes, who lives in Palm Coast, is accused of making more than 50 threatening phone calls to a 67-year-old Palm Coast man who was the victim of battery. Police say Varnes would call the victim from a block number at all hours of the day and night and make threats and racial slurs. In the calls, the victim was asked not to press charges against alleged batterer Patel Troutman and to think about the emotional damage his jailing would cause Troutman's children. Deputies say Varnes even responded to the victim's home to take a report on a threatening phone call he had made. Sheriff Rick Staley says he was both shocked and disappointed to find out a deputy was behind the threatening phone calls. Varnes is being held without bond. While the deputy remains employed for now, Staley says he will work to get Varnes' state license revoked so that he can never work in law enforcement again. A multi-county joyride in a stolen vehicle comes to an end in Flagler County. Tony Magoo has the story.
On Friday, July 3rd, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office Communications Center broadcasted a Be on the Lookout in reference to a stolen vehicle out of Jacksonville, a white Chevrolet Impala. Members of the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office chased that vehicle into Flagler County. The Flagler County Problem Area Crime Enforcement Unit saw that vehicle on Bay Drive unoccupied, began to conduct a search of the area with the assistance of a canine unit. A short time later, Amber Blackman, 23, and 30-year-old Jason Respress exited the wood line and were immediately arrested. An investigation revealed that Respress did not have a valid Florida driver's license and that he's had 8 driver's license suspensions dating back to 2012. Blackman also said that a friend of a friend loaned the vehicle to them. Respress and Blackman were transported to the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility, where they are both being held with no bond on multiple charges. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.